What's up guys, and welcome back to more Pokemon Kanto Mega Evolution speculation for a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. In the last episode we looked at the bird trio from the Kanto region, and now we're actually backtracking a Pokemon and covering Snorlax first off, and then we're going on to cover the final two Mega Evolutions I can see happening, or possibly happening. Not like I think it's going to happen, but they are possibilities, it's speculation guys, from the Kanto region. So, I guess we'll get into it. As usual guys, leave your thoughts down below on the fact that are they going to Mega Evolve in the first place? Do you think the typing I've chosen is good? Do you think the stat changes are good? Do you think the ability is good? All of those three. So let me know down below what you think of each set, and I guess we'll get on with it with Mega Snorlax. So, Snorlax, everyone knows about Snorlax. Fat Pokemon. I'm not going to go around, not going to tiptoe around it. It's a fat Pokemon. Big, bulky Pokemon, normal type. Everyone knows about Snorlax from the first games, the first region. Snorlax stuck on the path, Pokeflute, etc. You know, everyone knows what Snorlax is. Not even have to explain it. Its design is it's a big bear, pretty much. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a big bear. I mean, it's not actually based off a bear, but it's just based. It looks like a bear. Okay, that's the only animal I can liken it to. So what would Mega Snorlax be? Well, Mega Snorlax could stay bulky like that, but I am actually going for a different route with Mega Snorlax. I think it's going to become, or I would say I think it's going to become, if it happens, I think it's possible that they might actually make it offensive and like slim up pretty much. So this design for Mega Snorlax, I really like it. It's really buffed up, you know, it's got big, I guess, pecs. It's got a big chest. Its arms are now buffed up and much bigger, and so its legs too. It can actually stand up now, and its head has pretty much got smaller, or it's slimmed down a bit as usual, as the rest of the body has. It's gained some nice huge claws on its hands, whereas its original just had little tiny claws, and then obviously the claws on its feet are pretty similar to how they were in the first place. So I like that design there for Mega Snorlax. Typing wise for Mega Snorlax, I would see it just staying pure normal type. I mean, it could go to normal fighting, it could go to pure fighting, it could go to, I don't know what else you could put there guys. Something like that, you know, something along those lines. Normal fighting. I've put normal here because I don't really want it to gain the fighting type. I want it to stay pure normal, but obviously normal fighting is another possibility. Stat change wise for Mega Snorlax, I would see first its attack going up, because obviously its arms have got bigger, so the attack going up would make a lot of sense. Also its speed going up, because it's slimmed down, it can actually move now, it can actually walk, so its speed is going to go up in some capacity, you know, maybe a decent capacity as well. Obviously it depends, you know, how much they want to raise it by. Defenses and health points. Health points can't change, unfortunately. Defenses may drop slightly, but we don't quite know, you know, 'cause if anything was to drop, it would be health points, but health points can't drop, so I really don't know regarding that. Anyway, then, the ability for Mega Snorlax, I've got two I've listed here. First off, Thick Fat, which is its basic ability, which it's possible it could carry it over, but to be honest, I don't think it would, because obviously it's not being as defensive. It could still carry it over, just to, you know, make it too overpowered in the offensive department, but they could just keep it, you know, basic, sort of big, bulky, I don't know, and have sort of the offensive, so make it mixed over, you know, Thick Fat just to boost up its resistance to fire and ice, which isn't that good because obviously it's weak to fighting and stuff like that, or just weak to fighting. But fire and ice isn't exactly a huge weakness like it is for what would it be? Grass types. That's the one for like for Mega Venusaur sort of thing. And then the other ability I thought of for Mega Snorlax was huge power, which would be really quite interesting. Like, ooh, it's like, oh, I don't, depending on how much its attack increases, you know, depending on how much attack increases, it could obviously really be overpowered, but I don't think it would. I think the attack would increase a certain amount, but it depends really. It's in, like, you know, if the attack was too high, huge power wouldn't be an option, because then it'd be really quite overpowered. So it would just be sort of, it would be whatever, I guess. But I would prefer huge power, to be honest, because I think it would really work quite well. But we have to see, won't we? So I think that's pretty much it for Mega Snorlax, to be honest, because there's not much else to say. It's really just gonna become more offensive, I think, in my opinion. I'll just did I say Mega Onyx? I meant Mega Snorlax. Anyway, I think I said Mega Onyx. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, hopefully you guys like the idea of Mega Snorlax. Let me know down below what you think, and, you know, typing, statues, ability, whatever. And I guess we'll move on to the next Pokemon, which is Dragonite. So, everyone knows about Dragonite, the OG, the original dragon Pokemon, my favourite dragon Pokemon to be honest, normal Dragonite rather. Dragon flying type, which means it has the 4 times weakness to ice, which really hinders it, especially with Ice Shard around and stuff like that. But generally, Dragonite is pretty cool Pokemon. How would Mega Dragonite look? Well, like this. Now this design for Mega Dragonite I really like. It looks really awesome. As you can see, starting off as his head, his horn is now changed into 2 horns and the actual proper horns rather than this little spike on top of his head. Its 2, I guess, antenna have now changed into feathers, which look pretty decent. And it's also gained some nice, its eyes have got a bit more menacing too, rather than just happy and everything like that. And it's gained some nice blue markings on under its eyes, like on the rest of its body. Then, moving further down its body, you can see its arms have actually gained some nice little, I guess, fur spikes on them, and its claws have gotten a lot bigger as well. Rather than just having 3 claws now, it's got, I think, 4 claws there, and they look much more menacing than they used to. Around its neck, too, it has some sort of necklace with a jewel on it, a bluish jewel, which looks pretty cool. And its wings have become a bit more powerful. The original Dragonite's wings, they're tiny. Look at them, they're midget. Whereas Mega Dragonite in this design has really quite powerful wings, again with some blue markings on them. Then it also has gained 2 little wings down on its hips, on its thighs, which looks really weird to be honest. I don't know if I'd like those there, but they're alright. They're not too bad. I wouldn't prefer them. I prefer them to have not be there, but they're alright. They're not too bad, I guess. Tail-wise, it's now gained 2 little spikes on the back of its tail and also a ring around its tail before ending in another sort of collar around its tail with some more blue jewels on it, and then the end of the tail coming through there. And then its feet has gained, yet again, it's gained some sort of circular thing around ankle band, I guess you can call it. And then its claws haven't really changed too much because they were already pretty large and powerful. But Mega Dragonite's claws here look pretty big as well. They've increased slightly. But that's Mega Dragonite's design. I really like that one. There were several other designs out there, but this isn't my favourite, so I had to use this one. Typing wise for Mega Dragonite, I've got 3 I've listed here. First up, I think it could go pure dragon. It could lose its flying type. Obviously, then it would lose its resistance to fighting. But then it would also not be as weak to ice type moves. It would not be. It would resist electric. It would resist. It wouldn't be weak to rock. It wouldn't be weak to. I don't know, I'm trying to think of what else is weak to be honest. But you get what I mean there. I think the type loss would actually be beneficial for it in the long run, at least against with ice, rock, other stuff like that, but who knows. Or it could just stay dragon flying because that's basic for Dragonite, And that would just sort of, I don't know what, it would just be basic. Obviously its wings at least in this design have gotten bigger, so the flying type would still be big. It could lose its wings as well, but who knows. But yeah, dragon flying I think would be very possible for Mega Dragonite to stay as. But the final typing that I've seen suggested around, I'm not too big of a fan of it, is Dragon Fairy type. As I said, not too huge a fan. This design would sort of fit a Dragon Fairy type with the wings on its head, the blue jewels and stuff like that. But I think Dragon Fairy type would be alright if it wouldn't fit Dragonite's. I mean, Dragonite looks cute. It would fit the whole mantra around Dragonite, but it wouldn't fit its actual design, like how big it is, how bulky it is, sort of thing. But they might just do it because Dragonite is a very powerful Pokemon and they want to make him special because he's Gen 1 and make him the first Dragon Fairy type. That's another option there. This would make him weak to Steel type moves, Poison type moves. So it would be helpful, but then it really depends, guys. But yeah, obviously then it would also be resistive against fighting type moves, Steel, so the flying type loss would be actually indifferent there. It would resist dark type moves, it would resist, I can't remember what else, Fairy resist, I think that's it actually. But in general, yeah. So Dragon Flying or Dragon Fairy. I think Dragon Flying is the biggest possibility, then maybe Dragon Fairy, then finally Dragon. Just pure Dragon there, but I think Dragon Flying is the biggest possibility for Mega Dragonite there. Stat change wise for Mega Dragonite, I would see its attack increasing because obviously at least looking at this design here, it has nice and bulky claws now, sort of thing, and also its special defense rising because that's one of Dragonite's highest stats in the first place, and I think Mega Dragonite would have a nice big rise in special defense too. I don't think its speed's going to increase much because Dragonite doesn't look like that fast as a Pokemon, to be honest. Maybe a small speed increase, but nothing too huge. Defense-wise, to have a small one too, and then special attack, not too much to be honest, if anything actually, because I think Dragonite will just go pure physical attacking sort of thing. Ability-wise for Dragonite, It could either keep its multi-scale ability, because that way it would be just as good as normal Dragonite sort of thing, because obviously normal Dragonite gets multi-scale in the first place. But Mega Dragonite having multi-scale would be alright. Obviously then, if you Mega Evolved at full health points, it would be beneficial there. But if you didn't if you already lost health points and then you Mega Evolve, then it's not actually going to be helpful at all, sort of thing. So it's sort of, it is actually going to be that helpful there. The other ability I thought of for Mega Dragonite, however, was Adaptability, which would make it very powerful indeed, giving it a nice powerful Dragon Stab, Dragon type boosted stab, I guess, not just basic stab, and stuff like that. So Adaptability, yeah, boosting up the Flying type as well, boosting up the Dragon type sort of thing. So I think, I don't know, multi-scale is likely, but I don't think it'd be very helpful, because obviously then if you switch in, lose health points, and then Mega Evolve, you haven't got any boost from your ability at all, unless of course you have Roost or something. But you guys get what I mean there. I would much prefer it to have another ability rather than multi-scale, because then you could actually work it like you switch Dragonite in, take an attack with multi-scale, and then Mega Evolve it. So Mega Evolve on the second turn rather than the first, just to get the multi-scale sort of working away there, especially if you can actually take a move pretty well. But I think that's pretty much it for Mega Dragonite, guys. Let me know what you think about Mega Dragonite down below. Do you think we're going to get a Dragonite Mega Evolution eventually? Do you think it's going to happen, or do you think it's just already decent enough and not going to touch it? Also, what do you think its Mega Stone is going to be? Because it can't be Dragonite Knight. In my opinion, I think it'd be called Draconite, because it's the original dragon, so that would only make sense there. But obviously, let me know what you think about typing, stat changes, and the ability down in the comment section too. And let's move on to the final Pokemon for today's episode, which is Mew. So, we had two Mega Evolutions for Mewtwo, so maybe Mew is eventually going to get a Mega Evolution. So, we have Mega Mew. Everyone knows about Mew, one of the original legendaries, pure Psychic type, which is pretty darn awesome. Mew is pretty cool. What would Mega Mew look like? Now, there were a hell of a lot of designs out there for Mega Mew, and there were so many, I found it hard to choose one, to be honest. But this one I chose in the end because I think it looks the best suited to the typing I'm choosing. So you can see here, it looks very similar to a normal Mew, except its ears have gotten larger, its tail is now attached to its head. Very similar to how Mewtwo evolved, Mega Evolved rather. But yeah, obviously his tail is now attached to his head, and it's got a sort of a horn in the middle of it, middle of his head now, sort of thing there. But generally the only other change is the fact that it's got some purple highlights on its bottom of its feet, its hands, its horns, and the end of its tail, or the end of its head tail, I guess is what it's called now. And also it's a slightly different colour to normal Mew, but it's not too big a change. So what typing would I see Mega Mew being? I would actually say it being a Psychic Fairy type. Now, when the Fairy type was revealed, we thought loads of legendaries were going to get their types changed to Fairy. We thought Shaman was going to get a Grass Fairy, we thought that well, Pokemon are there. I thought maybe Manaphy and Fiona go to Water Fairy. I thought maybe Celebi goes to Grass Fairy, but none of them did. So maybe Mew, or his Mega Mew, is finally the little pixie legendary, I'm going to call them, that gets a Fairy typing, because that would only make sense. To be honest, because obviously it's one of the original ones, so it'd be special for it, I guess. Stat change wise for Mega Mew, I would just see a basic special attack and speed rise, and make it faster, make it more special attack. And obviously, normal Mew has a basic 100 spread, so obviously if they were to increase that, they could keep it stable at 600, instead of actually decreasing, instead of just like increasing the base stat total overall, increase the special attack stat and speed stat, but then lower the defense stat and the attack stat, something like that. Because obviously we've never had a Pokemon like this, Mega Evolve. We had Dancey, but we don't know how its stat change is going to spread. Because we know, at least with Mega Dance at the moment, we know its special attack and speed is increasing, but we know its defense and special defense are decreasing. So we don't know if that's going to be an equal rise and decrease, or whether it's just going to be going up by 100 like most other Mega Evolutions. But at least I see a special attack and speed increase for Mega Mew. Ability wise for Mega Mew, Synchronize would be obviously its normal ability, so Synchronize could possibly just be carried over there. Synchronize isn't too helpful for it though. I wouldn't see them keeping that if they were to do it, because I just don't see it, guys. I just can't see it, to be honest. Synchronize wouldn't make sense to me on a Mega Mew. So the other abilities I've chosen for it, first up we have Adaptability again, which would give it a nice clean Psychic Adaptability stab, and also Fairy. I'm not sure, I'm guessing it gets, it learns all TMs, doesn't it? So it definitely gets Dazzling Gleam. It could possibly get Moonblast in the future, but at least it would get a nice decent Dazzling Gleam Adaptability stab sort of thing. So something like that. The other ability, or one of the other abilities I chose for Mega Mew was a Regenerator, or it was suggested to me on Twitter because I was asking for ideas. Regenerator, when I thought about, was actually it worked pretty well for Mew actually. Obviously, whenever you switched out, you would gain some health points back, and that would be a nice way of restoring some health points. I mean, it just seems to fit for Mega Mew, to be honest. I don't know why, it just seems to fit. I can't really, I guess, go into any more detail than that. The last ability, a possibility for Mega Mew was Protein, which was suggested a few times as well. It would make sense because obviously Mew is genetic DNA sort of thing, so it should be able to change its typing. But I wouldn't want it to have pure Protein because then it would lose its Psychic Fairy typing straight off the bat. Every time as soon as you did a move, it would lose the Fairy typing unless it was called Dazzling Gleam. But I wouldn't want it to get Protein, to be honest. I would just not want it to get Protein. It's just I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it to happen. Just because why give it a Fairy typing if you're then just going to change typing straight away? Obviously, if it stayed pure Psychic and then got Protein, I'd be fine with that, to be honest. But if it gained the Fairy typing and then also had Protein, that'd be absolutely stupid in my opinion. That would make me really quite angry. But yeah, generally that's it for Mega Mew as well. What do you think? Do you think Mew is eventually going to get a Mega Evolution, since Mewtwo got 2? So maybe Mew is going to get one eventually too? Let me know what you think. Also, obviously let me know what you think about typing too. Do you think it's going to get a Fairy type, or is it just going to stay pure Psychic? As well as the stat changes, and also the abilities. We've got a nice selection there, so tell me which one you think is the most likely for Mega Mew. And also, don't forget to tell me about Mega Snorlax and Mega Dragonite if you haven't already. And yes, I guess I shall see you guys in the Johto arc of this series, so I shall see you guys soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.